Welcome to Venice. It's game day 12 of the Basketball Champions League regular season, and the hosts still dreaming of a spot in the playoffs. Umana Reyer Venezia taking on Petrol Olimpija Ljubljana. A very good evening from me, Tim Long, and a warm welcome to the Panasport Taliesio here in northern Italy. 6th hosting 7th in Group C. The Italians at 6 and 5, looking for a win that would see them tie level with 2nd, 3rd and 4th, with just 2 games to play in the regular season. The visitors from Slovenia already out of contention for the playoffs, but still fighting for a place in the FIBA Europe Cup. Italian fans packed into this place here this evening, looking to roar their team on towards the next stage of the competition. Still very much all to play for, and they will get right behind their team here this evening. Such a fantastic record they have on this court in front of those fans. And they're going to look to extend it here this evening against a team they beat by 10 on the road back on game day 5. 32 teams split across 4 groups of 8. Our focus here is on Group C, where Banvit have already beaten Rosa Redom earlier today. And yesterday Strasbourg got a 1-point win on the road at Ike, and Estudiantes lost at home to Medi Bayreuth. As for how the Group C standings look, the top 4 will of course make the playoffs, the last 16 of the competition. We should see those standings in just a moment. Banvit already through, but then potentially 4 teams tied level at 7 and 5 if Venezia can get the win tonight. Ike sit 1 win further back and will still be looking to sneak into the next stage. It's 5th and 6th that will end up in the last 16 of the FIBA Europe Cup. You can see the only team really cut adrift of trying to get there at the moment, Rosa Redom, in terms of progressing in Europe in some way or another. Both of these clubs still with plenty to fight for here this evening. Venezia, Final 4 competitors last season, not making the playoffs this time around would be a huge failure on their part. For Olimpija, still the possibility of getting to 7 wins, but no chance of really sneaking through. For them, it should be a place in the top 6 at the very least. Here's a look at their roster, and so much responsibility on 2 Americans. Jordan Morgan, team highs of 16.7 points and 7.9 rebounds. And then Devon Oliver, 12.4 points and 7.4 boards. They also look to Gregor Hrovat, who's averaging close to 10 points, 3.2 assists, 1.4 steals. And Domen Lorbeck, who's shooting 44% from the outside. As for Umana Reyer Venezia, their superstar is Mitchell Watt, team highs of 12.3 points, 7.4 rebounds and 1.5 blocks per game. Voyet Peric is averaging 10.8 points and 4.6 boards. Dominic Johnson averaging over 10 points per game as well, and Marquez Haynes, their leading facilitator, averaging 3.5 assists, but they do like to share their assists around. Venezia have lost just once on this court in the Basketball Champions League, going all the way back to the start of last season. Their record here is 14-1. Their only defeat was by just 2 points to Ike back on game day 2 of this season, although 3 of their last 5 here have gone to overtime. So visiting teams have been able to keep it tight. Petrol Olimpija being introduced here, 4 and 7 so far. Started on a 3-game losing streak. A first win arrived at Estudiantes on game day 4, but that was followed by back-to-back defeats, including the 66-76 game day 5 loss to Venezia. Then came back-to-back wins over Redom and Strasbourg, both on home court. They lost at home to Banvit on game day 9, beat Medi Bayreuth by 1 on the road 2 weeks ago, but then lost by 15 at home to Estudiantes last week to officially end their playoff chances. Standing ovation for the home team, Umana Reyer Venezia, as their players get set to be officially introduced onto the floor. 6th in Group C, with a 6 and 5 record so far. They made a flying start, winning 5 of their first 6 games, including that 10-point win at Olimpija. Their only loss in that run was that defeat by just 2 here to Ike on game day 2. But then came a 3-game losing streak against Estudiantes, Banvit and Ike, before beating Rosa by 9 here on game day 10. They couldn't continue to build momentum last week though, losing by just 3 at Strasbourg, 70-67. So 5 wins in their first 6 games, just 1 in their last 5 to fall out of the playoff places. They'll try and continue that wonderful home record here against a Petrol Olimpija team that did win their last away game by just a point at Medi Bayreuth, but they've never won consecutive road games in the competition. Oddly, the Slovenians do average more points on their travels, though, this season, 77 points per game compared to 69.2 on home court. So they'll hope to continue that tonight as well, and to try and keep this one close, as has been the case with many games on this court in recent weeks. Umana Reyer Venezia, Italian champions at the moment. Had big success all the way back in the 1940s, fell out of sight for a long while. They've been in the ascendancy again in recent years, winning promotion back to the top flight in 2011. They reached the quarterfinals in the Italian League in each of their first 2 seasons back, then reached the semi-finals in 2 straight years, before last season winning their first Italian title since 1943. They beat Trento 4-2 in the final series. Your officials from Poland, Israel and Latvia for this one here this evening. As for Petrol Olimpija, one of the most successful Slovenian clubs in history, they've won their national title 16 times, including a first title in 8 years last season, as well as winning 20 Slovenian Cups, 6 Yugoslavian leagues and 5 Yugoslavian Cups. 2 teams with a winning tradition, both at home and abroad, going toe-to-toe on this court here this evening. Coming into this one, Venezia have the edge in just about every stats column. The Italians averaging 8 points more per game. They take on this Petrol Olimpija starting 5, Span, Bubnic, Bajim, Morgan and Hrovac. Jordan Morgan there has scored more points and grabbed the joint most rebounds of all centres in the competition this season. Venezia do average 4 more rebounds per game as well, though, almost 4 more assists too. So a big job for coach Zoran Martic and his team from Slovenia. 19.4 assists per game for Venezia, ranks them 6th in the competition in that department. They're also averaging a tournament second best 3.4 blocks per contest, comparing to just 1.9 for Olimpija. And if the Slovenians are going to cause an upset this evening, they'll likely rely on their defence to stop this Venezia starting 5. Haynes, Johnson, Pramos, Res and Watt, who get the start for the home team. Olimpija conceding 2.5 points per game less than their hosts, so they have a slightly better defensive record, and they've come up with 7.4 steals per game, which edges them ahead of Venezia in that category. Venezia led by Walter De Raffaele here this evening, and we're just about ready to get this one underway. The final opportunity for the 2 head coaches to have a final word with their 2 respective teams. Zoran Martic, who took over the role earlier this season for Olimpija, previously an assistant with the club from 2008 to 2010. And on the Venezia bench, Walter De Raffaele, head coach since the start of last season, having been assistant for 5 years before that here at Umana Reyer Venezia. There is Jordan Morgan, one of the most dominant players in this competition this season. The 26-year-old American hoping to have a dominant game again here this evening. Here we go then, it's the 3-time and reigning Italian champions against the 16-time and reigning champions of Slovenia. A competitor at last season's Final 4, taking on the 1994 Supporter Cup winners. It's Umana Reyer Venezia against Petrol Olimpija Ljubljana, live on game day 12 of the Basketball Champions League regular season here in Group C. And there is plenty on the line here tonight. We're ready to get this one underway. Venezia, of course, in the dark red. Petrol Olimpija in the white with green. This is the last game taking place in Group C on game day 12. Venezia know if they can get the win, it would lift them back into the playoff places. Marquez Haynes forward to the foul line, trying to fizz it across to the far side was Watt. Intercepted but recovered though by Venezia. Shot clock down to the final few seconds here. Watt will turn and fire over the top of Morgan. Misses the shot though. Morgan the rebound. Averaging 7.9 per game. Jordan Morgan. On by Span across to the far side. Petrol Olimpija's first offense. And a rejection underneath. Big block. And Venezia trying to build off that on offense now. Johnson across to the far side. Fired in towards Watt in the centre. And this time he gets fouled and will go to the line for two. We talked about the blocking ability of Venezia before the opening tip, averaging 3.4 a game. And they've got one in the first minutes here. Let's help lead to this trip to the foul line for Mitchell Watt, who gets the first point on the board this evening. Such a key player for them, the 28-year-old American. Although he was held to just 6 points in last week's defeat, 3 of 5 from the field. Although he did have 8 rebounds, a steal and a block as well. Only 1 of 2 on that trip, but the ball deflected out of bounds for a Venezia possession. Italian fans raising their voices here as their team look for the first field goal in this one. Dominic Johnson. Marquez Haynes backing off, shot clock down to 5 here. Haynes will look to try and get away from Bubnic. And there's a second foul on Olimpija. Non-shooting foul this time, so they'll inbound with Haynes from the far side. Little pump fake thrown by Johnson. Johnson left-hand dribble drive, then fades away and knocks it down. Beautifully done by Dominic Johnson. Jan Span moving it across to the far side. Here he is again, Span, bounce pass towards Morgan on the foul line, looks to bully his way to the basket. There's the turnaround hook shot, doesn't drop for him though. Rest, the 37-year-old Italian veteran with the rebound. This time the quick three. Venezia firing on all cylinders in the opening couple of minutes. Marquez Haynes doubles the advantage. High entry pass towards Morgan, caught into the basket, back out. They move it around for the open look for three. Wouldn't go for Span. Tip to Dominic Johnson. This one could get away from Petrol Olimpija in a hurry if they're not careful. Here goes Marquez Haynes driving into traffic this time and getting the third foul on Petrol Olimpija. And we've only played 2 minutes. So the Slovenians in trouble in terms of the scoreline, down by 6. A chance for Marquez Haynes to add a couple more from the strike when we return, but also in trouble in terms of their fouls as well. No surprise, an early timeout called by Zoran Martic.
We play red. I understand. Come on. Everybody understands everything. 5 mistakes and 6-0. That's exactly what I was talking on the warm-up.
He is clearly not happy at all, is he? The Petrol Olimpija head coach. This poor start that his team have made in the opening 2 minutes. And they've missed all 3 of their field goal attempts so far. The home team have hit 2 of 3, including a foul shot, and they've got a couple more foul shots to come. Marquez Haynes at the line. And able to add to his three-pointer just a few moments earlier. Haynes held to just 5 points and a couple of assists in last week's narrow defeat at Strasbourg. He's got 4 points already here this evening, but misses that second foul shot. Here's Morgan, completely free, under the basket to finish. Olimpija finally on the board. Prodding and probing on the perimeter is Bramos. Back to Marquez Haynes. Bramos again swings it on to Dominic Johnson, who tries to drive down the baseline and gets fouled by Jan Span. So 4 fouls on Olimpija in 2.5 minutes, and any foul now from their defense will send the Venezia offensive player to the foul line, whether it's a shooting foul or not. Marquez Haynes. Quick turn and shot from the outside, wouldn't go down for Bramos. Rebound grabbed here by Krovat. Here's Span. Morgan, nice cut to the basket, down the lane, and finishing under pressure. Krovat able to close the gap to 3. Really good find by the big man Jordan Morgan as well. That's the kind of fight that Olimpija are going to have to show in terms of getting players cutting into the paint. And there's a 5th foul on Olimpija already. This one on Jordan Morgan, trying to stop Mitchell Watt around the rim. Morgan making sure Watt couldn't finish. This is incredibly early to be at the foul limit in the quarter for Petrol Olimpija Ljubljana. Mitchell Watt leading Venezia on an average basis in 3 categories this season: points, rebounds and blocks. Offensive rebound, it looked like, off the missed foul shot, but Morgan was able to grab it. It's a kick ball out of bounds. Olimpija can look to close it to 1 or 2 here. You just wonder how that foul trouble is going to impact the next 6 minutes and 47 seconds, though. Venezia yet to commit a single foul. Budnic rolling in towards the low post. It's back on the perimeter instead, hung high towards Morgan, who takes it down. Little hesitation, knocked away. Still Olimpija ball. Thomas Ress using all of his experience to stick with Jordan Morgan. Here's the inbound from the baseline. Krovat back to the perimeter. A long 2-pointer. And he's too short, and the rebound grabbed by Bramos. Dominic Johnson. Johnson on the burst to the basket. Nice bounce pass in the lane. The first one off the mark, so too the tip. Still grabs the loose ball though, Watt. And they've got 7 seconds on the shot clock here. Haynes into Watt. He's going to try and turn down the baseline. Forced away by the presence of Budnic. Has to just throw one up and doesn't touch the rim. Krovat. Budnic had his pocket picked there by Marquez Haynes. Haynes on to Johnson. Back to Haynes again. Dominic Johnson once more. Looking to go one-on-one near side of the paint. Touch back and out of bounds. Still Venezia ball. And the scoring has dried up for both teams now after that strong Venezia start. Dominic Johnson. Shot clock down to the final few seconds. Across to the far side. Quick catch and shoot for 3. Bramos nails it. Michael Bramos with his first basket. Lead back to 7. Watt trying to force the player away from the baseline. Krovat turns and shoots though and hits. Gregor Krovat making a good start here. 4 points, 2 of 2 from the field. Dominic Johnson moving it on across to Bramos. Bramos this time trying to play the pass, and it's picked off. And the outside shot in transition, knocked down by Krovat. Petrol Olimpija's foot firmly on the gas now. And that forces the timeout, this time from Venezia. The Slovenians have closed the gap here behind 7 points from Gregor Hrovat, including that pull-up three-pointer.
Stop fast break looking for the ball. In offense, colpisci di più sul blocco. Hold the screen a little bit more. We need to take advantage with the guards. So hold the screen and then you roll. Okay, now we go chin, no.
You can switch, but aggressive switch. But you have to speak to each other. You have to speak to each other.
Last 5 seconds, switch everything with the wrist. Oni so zelo dvakrat igrali dve pesti, vse switchajo.
Just play normal in offense.
So Gregor Hrovat getting the first three-pointer to fall for Petrol Olimpija here. They've closed the gap to 2 points behind his 7 in just 5 minutes. He's 3 of 3 from the field. And Venezia, off the back of the timeout, are looking to show a response now. There's the man of the moment for Petrol Olimpija. Michael Bramos. Across to the far side it goes to Haynes. Haynes trying to edge his way into the corner. That's a long 2. Didn't go anyway. Morgan trying to recover. Instead, it's his teammate who comes up with the loose ball and draws the first foul on Venezia. Olimpija have been at the foul limit for some time already. That's Venezia's first. The Italians haven't yet been able to take advantage, though, of that Olimpija foul trouble. Here's Taylor Battle in the game for the first time. Now on the perimeter, holding it up is Tratnik. On to Battle again, across to the far side. That'll be a long 2 if it goes. It doesn't. Big offensive rebound, flicked up and in by Igor Tratnik. He's only averaged 13 minutes per game across 2 games this season. Tratnik, he's come up with 3 rebounds per game in that limited time. And he comes up with a big offensive one there to tie the score. Watt passes out to the double team and Bramos right down the lane to finish. Michael Bramos with 5 points. He leads the way for the home team. Taylor Battle. Battle the bounce pass to Morgan. Morgan trying to drive against his opposite centre, Watt. Back out to the perimeter to badge him. Here's Morgan trying to glance it in off the glass. Wouldn't go. Watt couldn't handle the rebound, but Peric could. Look at this dribble and the kick out to Bramos for 3. Got it. Second from the outside for Michael Bramos. Venezia back in business. 8 points for Bramos here in the first. Hrovat on to Morgan. Morgan back to Battle. Battle prodding and probing. He'll pull up for the long 2. Doesn't get it. Watt the rebound. Here's Johnson. Johnson, edge of the paint, trying to hang and hit off the glass. Offensive rebound. Forced off the mark, though, was Voja Peric. Quick offense here from Badgin, and an offensive foul as he ploughed through his opponent. Mitchell Watt absolutely wiped out, took one for the team. Got his feet planted in the perfect position just outside the charge circle. Bramos, leading scorer in the game with 8 points. Moving it on to Jenkins. Here's Haynes now. Pass disrupted before it could come back to Jenkins on this near side. Shot clock at 8 here. Peric to inbound. Moved on by Biliga. Jenkins gets it. Passes towards this near side. Haynes for 3. Another one. Raining 3s in the first quarter for Venezia now. It's their 4th of the quarter. Their lead is up to 8 points. Largest of the game. Here goes Tratnik inside, finding a free passage through the paint, but he nor his teammate could finish. Jenkins. Jenkins behind the back dribble, trying to use the screen here, finding Peric. Peric, the pump fake, moves inside, lost it on the dribble though. Here goes Taylor Battle, trying to make sure the foul is on the shot. Only Venezia's second foul of the quarter, but Battle putting it up on the move. The home fans not happy with this call. That was a foul in the act of shooting. So Taylor Battle goes to the foul line here. He's off the mark with the first one. Battle averaging 10.7 points per game across 3 appearances this season. He had 10 points in less than 19 minutes in last week's defeat, although he was just 3 of 8 from the field. He's able to get both foul shots to go here. And they're his first points of the evening. Andrea Di Nicolau across to the far side, gets it back here. Now Peric. Peric lost it on the dribble again for the second time in quick succession. I don't know if that mask is bothering him, but Voja Peric turning the ball over. He had a tough game against Olimpija back on game day 5. He was just 1 of 6 from the field. And he's having another tough game against the Slovenians this evening. Venezia still lead by 7 with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. Out goes Bramos, their leading scorer. He and Haynes have combined for 15 of Venezia's 19 points here in the first. Second foul picked up on Jenkins. Third for Venezia. Olimpija bounce pass into the lane. Provac forces it up under pressure. What a big performance here in the first from Provac. Gap close to 5, final minute of the quarter. 3-point shot from Jenkins, would it go? There was a soft attempt at grabbing the loose ball from Tratnik. An offensive rebound for Venezia. Peric will look to drive inside again. He's persistent and he almost lost it once more. Shot clock down to the final few seconds. And from mid-range it drops for Paul Biliga. Voja Peric might just back off those dribble drives into the paint for the next few minutes. He got away with it that time. Only a couple of seconds differential between shot and game clock at the end of the first, so Olimpija trying to hold it perhaps for the final shot of the quarter, and a foul is called. So the shot clock turned off with 5.8 seconds remaining. Battle to inbound. Can they create a good look here? Back to Taylor Battle. Battle trying to get away, creates a bit of room and knocks it down to beat the buzzer. Taylor Battle closing the gap at the end of the first. What a way to get going for him. And Petrol Olimpija only trail by 5 at the end of 1. It's Venezia 21, Olimpija 16.
Andiamo sulla zona, andiamo, Jen, go inside.
First possession, go for. Go for. Easy
A look at some of the key moments from the first quarter now, and a really positive start from Venezia. Petrol Olimpija then came back into it, but Venezia pulled away again. The largest lead so far has been 9 points. Olimpija have cut that to 5 at the end of the quarter, though. Morgan's impact for the most part has been limited. Just 1 of 3 from the field for 2 points. Jordan Morgan, he got the assist that time, though. Hrovat has been the key scorer for the Slovenians. Hrovat 4 of 5 from the field for his team-high 9 points. Nobody else for Olimpija has more than 3. As for the home team, the outside shooting of Bramos has been a key factor in taking him to 8 points in 8.5 minutes on court so far. The home team also have 7 from Marquez Haynes. And those two combining for the vast majority of Venezia's scoring so far. Start of the second quarter then, Venezia 21, Olimpija 16. The Slovenian champions start with the ball. Taylor Battle, who beat the buzzer at the end of the first quarter. Move forward now. A chance to turn and face the rim and to force it up and in. First action for Begic, and he gets a score straight away off the bench. Jenkins. Across to the far side to Toner. Trying to get away. Outside shot for Di Nicolau. Off the mark. Rebound grabbed by Castati. Olimpija, a chance maybe to tie or at least get within 1 here. Badgin. Begic was calling for it inside and then a foul. And the first of the second quarter this time goes on the home team. Quite clear holding there from Biliga. That's his second personal. Taylor Battle around the frame of Begic, shoots the outside shot and knocks it down. Battle up to 6 points. And 5 of them coming in around a minute between the end of the first and the start of the second. Long 2-pointer, right on the money though for Di Nicolau. Venezia just about clinging on to their slender lead now. Olimpija have really recovered from the field, shooting 50% now after a poor start. Begic in the high post. Hands it off to Sanon. Sanon losing the ball. Here come Venezia in transition. Long left arm, couldn't flip it up and in from Jenkins. Here's Battle, the burst to the baseline. He's looking for Begic here, who's trying to get away from Biliga. And he's called for another foul. And let's have a look at this contact. He was trying his best to stay with Begic. Got in front of him to knock the ball away. He'll go to the bench now, though, having picked up his 3rd personal. Zoran Martic's Petrol Olimpija side have really steadied themselves here. Jordan Morgan. Here's Battle. Morgan looking to roll to the hoop. Battle clings onto it. Tries to pass out to the perimeter instead, and there was nobody in that spot. A miscommunication with Sanon. Marquez Haynes. Around the frame of Peric. Dominic Johnson firing it in towards Mitchell Watt and turns it over. Watt unable to grab the handle on the ball. It's been a tough start to the game for Watt. He's missed all 3 of his field goal attempts so far. Just 2 of 4 from the foul line. Sani. Battle now. Morgan in the high screen, Battle trying to get away on the perimeter. Stuck to all the way though. Castrati. Maisie dribble rejected by Mitchell Watt. Venezia on the charge. Drive to the baseline. Reverse layup wouldn't go, but it's backed in by Peric, who grabs the offensive rebound. Venezia by 5. Mitchell Watt hasn't got it going on offense just yet, but he's certainly got it going on defense with that big rejection. It's his second block of the night, and it leads to the offense, which forces the Olimpija timeout.
First possession. First possession. Play 4. Pass. Who's guarding you? Pass the ball to him. Pass the ball to him. Okay?
The second trap. And Thomas stay here on this line. Okay? Be ready when we go wide. If we need red on top or in. Don't forget, Beto, only right 10. Only right 10. Okay? So stay on his all right 10. And in transition, go running. Go running. Okay? Let's go, guys. Go, guys. Go. 1, 2, 3.
So Petrol Olimpija closed a 9-point gap down to just a couple. And Venezia are able to keep their noses in front, now lead by 5. Mitchell Watt's second rejection, leading to the score down the field. (25-20) the score off the back of the timeout. Olimpija possession. Bubnic. There's Battle now, receiving it from Provat. Morgan in the high post, looking to run a bit of interference perhaps. Moves away into the paint. Provat with the pump fake across to the far side. Sanon getting down the baseline, kicks it back out. Shot clock's going to expire though. On Petrol Olimpija, they weren't aware. Sanon getting down the baseline, wasn't aware as he played the pass to Dražen Bubnic, and he wasn't aware either as he failed to put up the shot first time. Tone up to Dominic Johnson, now Haynes. Intercepted though by Sanon, trying to make amends for that last offense. There's the behind the back pass, forced in. It wasn't pretty, but it counts. Put in by Dražen Bubnic, the two players combining who turned it over on the previous possession. Johnson across to Watt. Watt will hand it off here. And then Haynes across to the far side, and a foul called on Bubnic.
Terzo fallo numero 7, Bubnic.
Only Olympia's first. They're at the limit already by this stage in the first quarter. Dominic Johnson. Johnson, amazing run all the way through, disrupted around the rim though. It'll still be Venezia ball. Didn't touch the rim, so the shot clock is down to 5. Last touch called off an Olimpija player. And the steal right off the inbound pass. Someone down the floor looking to go coast to coast, and he will go to the line for 2.
Primo fallo di Dominic Johnson. Cambio Olimpija, Ferrari numero 6.
Petrol Olimpija have sorted out their foul trouble. Experienced in the first quarter, here in the second. They've sorted out their overall performance all round off the back of that. Although the miss from Sanon, as coach Zoran Martic's team look to close a 3-point deficit. He does get the second to fall, 2-point game. And it's been close for the entirety of this second quarter so far. Thomas Ress. Ress will hand it off to Haynes on the perimeter. Haynes looking to use the very high screen of Watt out to Ress for the 3-point shot over the top of the rim. Olimpija may be looking to tie. Very nearly a steal, though. It will still be Olimpija ball. So not getting a piece of it, but could only knock it out of bounds. Jan Span to Hrovat, who was red hot in the first quarter. Morgan, who's yet to heat up. A nice bounce pass to Hrovat. Back out to Sanon for 3, wide of the basket. And that would have given them their first lead. Instead, it's Dominic Johnson firing on the other end of the floor and keeping Venezia ahead. First outside shot for Dominic Johnson, and he drains it. Venezia 5 of 10 from downtown. Hrovat. Back to Morgan. Morgan threatened to hand it off to Span. Span looking to attack from the high post. Shot clock winding down to the final couple of seconds. He gets it up with the underarm layup right at the end of the shot clock. Quick burst down the other end of the floor and a foul. Foul on Jan Span. Olimpija's second of the second. Stefano Tonat, the 24-year-old Italian at the line. Averaging 5 points in 16 minutes this season. Shot the ball terribly from the floor. 27% inside, 25% from downtown, and only 1 of 2 on that trip to the stripe. Venezia lead by 4 minutes of the first half to play. Jordan Morgan prodding and probing and looking to penetrate now. Passes out to the double team. 3-point shot off the mark for Badjim. An offensive rebound then by Bubnic and a foul on Peric. 19 5 of 10 from downtown. Petrol Olimpija just 1 of 5 now. Hrovat to inbound, gets it in to Badjim. Badjim trying to force it in under intense pressure close to the basket. And there's a foul on Olimpija, their third. Venezia at 4 already with 4 minutes and a half to play. It's been a fairly low scoring first half to this point, 29-25. Ramos. Nice move off the baseline to get it to bounce in. T. Nicolau. It looked like he'd run out of room, but he floated away from the baseline to finish. Venezia by 6. Over the head pass was wild and risky from Span, and he couldn't connect with Morgan. Olimpija averaging 77 points on the road this season. Only 25 in the first 17 minutes here. Their 6th turnover. Di Nicolau gets it back from Johnson. Here's Peric now. Peric looking to Mitchell Watt. Watt up against Morgan, the 2 star centres going toe-to-toe. Watt into the paint, lovely pirouette, and he gets fouled and will go to the line. And what a big battle that is inside. Physically and statistically, 2 of these star centres in the competition. Mitchell Watt will go to the line for 2. His only points have come from the foul line so far this evening. He's 2 of 5 there now after he misses the first one. He's 0 of 3 from the field. Watt hits the second. Venezia lead by 7, 3 minutes and change remaining in the first half. Span. Morgan the handoff on the perimeter to Hrovat. Hrovat into the lane, hangs one high. Couldn't get the teardrop to fall. Morgan a rebound underneath, puts it back in off the backboard in traffic. Jordan Morgan and a big basket for Olimpija. Di Nicolau. Johnson was threatening the three, instead moved it on to Watt, who lost it. Now a chance for Olimpija to make it a single possession game again. And a foul in transition on Peric.
Secondo fallo di Reyer Venezia, timeout Umana Reyer.
Timeout called by Umana Reyer Venezia. A couple of minutes left in the first half. They lead by 5 over Petrol Olimpija.
We have the borders. Stay into the game, Mitch. They collapse everybody here. So wait 1 second. We got the split here, and then you can attack. But they always collapse. It's an open pass out. It's enough. The ball in, that they collapse. We got open pass out to attack and switch. Stay focused.
And as soon as he's coming out of screen on the opposite side, set down screen so we clear up the space on the high post.
Are we still playing two? Can we
Daj na Gregorja. Nema veze. Nema veze.
You be ready after handoff, Gregor drive, you roll. Same as pick and roll.
And this has been a tight game since a positive Venezia start. They led by as many as 9 in the first quarter. Finished the quarter up by 5. It's been a low-scoring, tight and tense second quarter so far. And the two teams even so far here in the second, 11-11. The Italian champions very well supported in Venice this evening. Jan Span connecting with the first foul shot, closes the gap. He was just 1 of 8 from the field in the home defeat to Venezia. Back on game day 5, wanting to make amends here. He hits them both, closes the gap to 3. Di Nicolau. On to Johnson. Johnson looking perhaps for Peric, who receives it now, forced to the perimeter. Back to Dominic Johnson. Hand in his face, he moved it on to Watt, got it back. Shot clock down to the final few seconds. Ball on the floor, step in mid-ranger. Nowhere near really from Di Nicolau after creating good space. Put up from way beyond the setting sun. Venezia double the lead. Michael Bramos with some more dead-eye shooting. Bramos 3 of 4 from downtown, now has 11 points. The foul on Johnson. Venezia at the limit, so Olimpija will shoot foul shots here. Petrol Olimpija are yet to lead in the game, but they have kept within touching distance for the vast majority. They will look to continue to close the gap here. There's a look at the foul on the perimeter on Dominic Johnson. Hrovat to try and add to his 11 points from the line, and does. It's now a game-high 12 for him, 5 of 7 from the field, and this is his first trip to the stripe. And he makes them both. Johnson back to Toner. Toner the handoff on the perimeter to Di Nicolau. Toner again, fed inside to Watt. Watt looking to go one-on-one perhaps on the near edge of the paint. Turns it over. Here come Olimpija charging down the floor with Hrovat, who gets the contact. Couldn't quite get it to fall. Very close to a chance at a three-point play. But he'll be straight back at the line for 2 free throws again. Out goes Dominic Johnson, having picked up his 3rd foul. He's the second. In fact, there's 2 Petrol Olimpija players on 3. And indeed, he is the second as well for Venezia onto 3 after Biliga. $15 first-half points for Hrovat, 2-point differential. Final minute and change in the first half. Watt gets fouled, and that will take Olimpija over the limit as well. So Mitchell Watt will go back to the line. And still, all of Watt's points this evening have come from the stripe, but he's only 3 of 6 there. He gets that one. He only played 15 minutes in the game against Olimpija on game day 5, but he scored 8 points, had 8 rebounds and 2 blocks in that limited time on court. He was 4 of 6 from the field. Not been quite as effective in the first half here, but he makes, for the first time, both foul shots on that trip. So 5 of 8 from the stripe. Four-point gap in Venezia's favour as we approach the final minute of the second. Battle hands it off. He beat the buzzer at the end of the first. That's a nice bounce pass into Morgan. Morgan couldn't finish, though, and nor could he grab the offensive rebound. Both centres struggling somewhat. Rest back to Di Nicola. Back to Rest once more. Toner trying to drive inside, found Di Nicola, and he flips it up and in. He's made a good impact. 6 points now, 3 of 5 from the field. 14-second differential between shot and game clock at the end of the second quarter. Olimpija looking to keep in touch with the outside shot off the mark from Castrati. Offensive rebound for Morgan, who puts it in with the contact. Big play from Jordan Morgan, who's battling away on the boards. And he has a chance to complete the three-point play that would close the gap down to just 3 points again. He misses it, so he sticks on 6 points, 6 rebounds for the half. Di Nicola driving in right at the end of the quarter. Wild layup attempt wouldn't go. It's 4-on-4 at the moment, forced up from centre court. Wouldn't go down at the buzzer this time for Rocco Badgett. That brings the first half to a close. Umana Reyer Venezia leading by just 4, 39-35 over Petrol Olimpija. A really entertaining first half of action. You can see the overall shooting numbers. Venezia 6 of 11 from downtown. Olimpija just 1 of 7. Despite getting the better of Venezia in terms of their shooting accuracy inside. Venezia edging the rebounding battle right now. Look at their assists though, 10-4. Olimpija limiting their turnovers to 6. Have been able to stay very much within touching distance. Only down by 4, having trailed by 9 in the first quarter. Ramos leading the way for the home team with 11. Hrovat 15 first half points. A huge performance from the 23-year-old Slovenian. 2 steals for Hrovat as well, as part of 6 for Olimpija as a team. A key part of their defence. And a look at the top scorers. Morgan has 6, the second top scorer for the Slovenians. Haynes has 7. Di Nicolau 6 for Venezia. Really entertaining first half in northern Italy. Umana Reyer Venezia looking to get back in touch with the playoff places. They have the edge. They've led for the entirety so far, but it is a slender lead. At half-time, Umana Reyer Venezia 39, Petrol Olimpija 35.
Frankrijk. Da 2 punti. Ora su 2.
Strani comportamenti, ingiustificate assenze e prolungati silenzi. Non ti dovranno più inserire. Centro investigazioni simili troverà le risposte alle tue domande per la tua famiglia e per la tua azienda. Contattaci per un colloquio privato. Valuteremo il tuo problema e ti forniremo i giusti elementi per affrontarlo. Agenzia immobiliare Capitale è a Venezia in campo Santa Margherita. Scegli la professionalità, scegli il capitolo. Servizi contabili e fiscali, contabilità, assistenza fiscale attivati in azienda, combinazione modello 70 e 1. Per qualsiasi informazione ci trovi all'estero in via Chiave 29C. Professionalità ed esperienza sempre al tuo servizio. Leonardo Immobiliare Venezia. Da più di 20 anni sul mercato a Venezia, Lido e Terraferma. www.leonardoimmobiliarevenezia.it. Super Basket, la rivista del basket italiano e ora online. www.superbasket.it. Per informazioni visita il sito www.jlbnet.com oppure contattaci allo 041 86 26 205. Ottica Gazzera di Vladimiro Maroni. Vasto assortimento di montature e lenti di tutte le lingue ordinate. Ottica Gazzera, gli specialisti in occhiale, è in via Gazzera Alta 78 a Mestre. Spazio civile, completamente rinnovato via 7 di Carniceria, angolo Galleria Teatro Vecchio, con le nuove condizioni.
Welcome back to Venice, where the home team, Umana Reyer Venezia, lead Petrol Olimpija Ljubljana by 4 points as we get set to start the second half. 39-35 it is here. They led by 9 early on and have been ahead ever since they scored the first 7 points of the game. Petrol Olimpija did briefly get level from that 9-point deficit, but they haven't yet been able to get themselves ahead. And that is the challenge for coach Zoran Martic and his team after the break. It's the outside shooting of Venezia that separates the two sides in this one. The home fans have watched their team hit 6 of 11 from downtown for 55% from the outside. Petrol Olimpija just 1 of 7 so far for 14% from long range. 3 of those for Venezia have been knocked down by Michael Bramos, who's their leading scorer with 11. He's 3 of 4 from downtown, 4 of 5 from the field altogether. Petrol Olimpija, though, led by the 15 points of Gregor Hrovat. He's 5 of 7 from the field, including hitting the only 3-pointer that they've hit so far. Not too much to separate the teams in terms of the rest of the stats. Venezia way out ahead in terms of the assist count at the moment, so it's their ball movement that's been able to help them find good looks from the perimeter. Although Petrol Olimpija have been stubborn defensively, coming up with 6 steals so far and limiting their opponent's lead to make sure it's been a single-digit game throughout. Here we go then, ready for the start of the second half here on game day 12 of the Basketball Champions League. Just a reminder of the situation for these two clubs. Venezia in desperate need of the win to tie level with the teams in 2nd, 3rd and 4th in Group C at 7 and 5 and keep their fight for the playoffs going to the final 2 games. Petrol Olimpija now the playoffs out of reach for them, just looking to finish 5th or 6th to advance to the last 16 of the FIBA Europe Cup. Watt with the handoff. Comes back out to the perimeter. Watt goes the other way. Jenkins will shoot the 3 behind the big frame of Watt and gets it to go. Extends the lead to 7. That 3-point shooting show for Venezia continues. 7 of 12 now from downtown. Badgett across to Battle. Battle trying to get away, ran into the foul of Jenkins. Taylor Battle provided a 5-point scoring burst at the end of the first quarter, beating the buzzer in at the start of the second, but there is only points so far. Here's Tratnik stepping into the lane, trying to float one off the window. Morgan another rebound. He's been dominant on the boards. Here's Tratnik again, trapped in the corner by Ress, trying to find a way out. Dropped though by Badgett. With 5 left on the shot clock. Haynes was the player who stuck with Badgett. And Haynes, I think, got the final touch. Battle, quick catch and shoot from the corner. 3-pointer wouldn't go. Rebound wrestled down by Ress. And then a foul as Jenkins looked to penetrate. First foul of the 3rd on Olimpija. Marquez Haynes. Watt trying to create room for his teammate. Ress across to this near side. Jenkins slips, able to recover. 5 seconds on the shot clock now. It's Ress who'll throw up the deep 3. And the rebound grabbed by Battle. Olimpija looking for their first score of the second half. Castrati to Battle. Morgan coming out to set the high screen. Battle forced back, those shot clocks down to 3 already. The outside shot from a static position off the mark. Jenkins the rebound and then a foul on Olimpija. Battle holds his hand up and accepts that one. Only his first foul. They've got Span and Bubnic on 3. Knocked away, the steal from Castrati. Battle getting down the floor quickly, calling for it underneath. Didn't come his way though. Morgan now wants it, eventually gets it. Morgan trying to edge his way around Watt. Can't put it in off the backboard. Not quite clicking for Olimpija yet here in the 3rd quarter. 2 minutes without a score. Oh, that will roll around and drop for Mitchell Watt. Venezia back up by 9 points, ties their largest lead. And Mitchell Watt finally gets his first field goal. Morgan inside, knocked to the floor, shot clock winding down. It's going to be a violation here. Tratnik wasn't aware as he was trying to create room to shoot. Not for the first time, a shot clock violation from Petrol Olimpija. What a start to the second half for Umana Reyer Venezia. Timeout called by Petrol Olimpija, who now trail by 9 points.
We don't shoot when we have a chance, and we lose it. And we start complicating. And in defense, we are not in bonus. Look, we got 2 fouls. It's a side screen, rotate. It was a screen on the sideline. He play card show, so the last one must rotate all the way there. And get
pass, no brain pass, and we go. In offense, cats, anyway, when the ball come back to you, we go feast around.
When I get it, go with me.
Yes,
I'm
go
pushing.
to 3-on-2, guys.
I'm pushing.
Umana Reyer Venezia have outscored Petrol Olimpija 5-0 over the first 2.5 minutes of the second half. They've extended their half-time advantage from 4 to 9. And now they have possession of the basketball as well, as they look to open up the first double-digit lead of the evening. Bramos, their leading scorer. On to Jenkins. Jenkins across to the far side. Outside shot. Wouldn't go down. Marquez Haynes off the mark with that one. Battle around Morgan across to the far side. They're going to try and get inside, kick it back out to Battle. Battle on the move, going through the gears. Morgan underneath. Can he find room to squeeze it in? No. Really good interior defense from Venezia. Still in the hands of Olimpija, though. This time they'll put up the outside shot and get it to fall from long range for just the second time. First score of the second half for Olimpija. And it came from the outside, where they were just 1 of 7 in the first half. Ress throwing the pump fake as Castrati closed him out. And the foul on Erjon Castrati, the 23-year-old Slovenian. Watt across to Ress on the far side. Bramos making himself available. Back to Watt. They back off him. They invite the big man to shoot the 3. And there's his answer. Mitchell Watt, only 1 of 4 from the field before that. And the big centre shoots the outside shot from the high post. 8 of 14 now from downtown Venezia for 57%. Petrol Olimpija unable to answer back. Saved on the baseline into the hands of Jenkins. Jenkins getting away, going all the way through. Right-hand layup will fall. Gap extended up to 11. First double-digit lead of the evening. Tratnik. Quick catch and shoot for 3. Castrati quickly makes it a single-digit game again. Marquez Haynes, there's the foul on Battle. 4th of the quarter already on Olimpija in just 4.5 minutes. Igor Tratnik stopped on that previous drive to the basket, thinking the play was going to stop for a foul, and it didn't. So Venezia by 8. And they have possession with Marcus Haynes set to inbound from the sideline. Thomas Ress, back to Marquez Haynes. Georgian international born in the US. Haynes moves it on. Turnaround 3 wouldn't drop. Provat with a rebound. Well, number 15, though, is yet to add to his 15 first half points. And the foul there is only the second on Venezia in the third quarter. Jenkins making a point to the official. He'll go to the bench now. Stefano Tonet coming in. Just about right on the midway point of the third quarter. Taylor Battle. Edge of the paint, looking to shoot from mid-range and puts it in. 7 points now for Battle. And the gap closed very quickly from 11 back down to 6. Almost the steal as well for Hrovat. And Venezia have just lost their way. At the moment they do turn it over. Morgan goes to the bench for Petrol Olimpija. Nobody there. Well, Marcus Haynes pass, a miscommunication. Castrati into the lane, under the basket, denied. Swatted against the backboard by Bramos. Third block of the evening for Venezia. Outside shot for Marquez Haynes. Umana Reyer are red hot again. Lead back to 9. Big defense leading to emphatic offense. They have lit it up from the outside this evening. Shot clock to 5 for Hrovat as he moves it inside to Bubnic. Back out. Long ranger from Battle, wouldn't go down. Rests with the rebound. 9 of 16 from the outside, the home team. The away side just 3 of 12. Toner, a chance to make it a double-digit lead again. Watt inside, knocked away, recovered though, and put up towards the end of the shot clock on the fadeaway, falling down from Stefano Toner. Venezia back ahead by 11, ties the largest lead. First field goal for Toner. Bubnic twisting and turning inside, knocked away again by Watt. Back-to-back blocks in no time at all for Venezia. And Watt letting out a huge scream after rejecting this one. Venezia mean business right now. Looking to bully his way inside was Bubnic, and it knocked away. Petrol Olimpija have all of a sudden gone ice cold, and they will continue to fire Venezia from downtown. Stefano Toner with 5 quick-fire points, largest lead of the evening. Petrol Olimpija calling timeout. The home team now 10 of 17 from three-point range. It's been a big third quarter for their team, 18-8 so far.
So we avoid the flash ball. Okay, guys? In offense, keep going to run in this way.
Don't let up, man. Don't let up.
Umana Reyer Venezia have hit as many three-pointers now as they have two-pointers. They're 10 of 17 from the outside, 10 of 21 inside. And everybody, including the big centre, Mitchell Watt, knocking them down from long range. They've had 6 different players fire from downtown. 14-point lead is the largest so far. 3 minutes of the third quarter to play. Morgan back in the game after a very short rest. Looking to attack Peric. Trying to move it on, turns it over off the back of the timeout, out of bounds, Venezia ball. Bojan Radulovic in the game for the first time, the number 3 for Olimpija. Peric hands it off on the perimeter. Toner, no look pass back out to Peric. Peric back out from the foul line. This time it's Haynes who'll pull the trigger. And they are lighting it up from long range. Lead stretched to 17. Marquez Haynes 4 of 5 from downtown now. He leads the way for Venezia with 13 points. Hook shot inside, wouldn't go. And it's still going to be Petrol Olimpija ball. Umana Reyer red hot. They pulled away and opened up a huge amount of breathing room here in a big third quarter. Michael Bramos going to the bench, has 3 of 5 from downtown, but he's now been edged by his teammate Marquez Haynes, who's 4 of 5. 11 of 18 from a three-point land for 61%. And nothing coming together for Olimpija right now as they turn it over again. Offensive foul against Radulovic. 10 turnovers apiece. Outside shooting the difference there. Marquez Haynes on to Toner. Toner firing it in towards the baseline. Watt trying to turn and flip it up, and he'll go to the line for 2. Stefano Toner has come in and made a really big contribution in this third quarter. He's 2 of 3 from the field for 6 points, 4 assists as well. It was his pass that found Watt. And then the foul sent him to the line where he misses the first. He hit his last 2, but he's 5 of 9 altogether now. 5 of his 10 points coming from the stripe. 3 block shots this evening though for Mitchell Watt, and now 11 points. 18-point lead. It keeps growing and growing. Krovat still hasn't scored in the second half. Morgan left unguarded, makes it count. A rare bit of joy for Petrol Olimpija. Morgan up to 8 points and 8 rebounds. Only 4 of 9 from the field though. Watt fires it back out to the perimeter. It's another 3. Wouldn't go this time. Dominic Johnson off the mark. Morgan. Span maybe looking back for Morgan, who comes out to run a bit of interference, gets into the paint, puts it up, and misses this time, and Johnson grabs the rebound. Marquez Haynes will fire the 3. Back-to-back misses now for Venezia. Krovat bursting down the floor, looking to go coast to coast. Morgan picks up the pieces and puts it in, now up to 10 points. Olimpija have scored 4 without reply to close the gap from 18 to 14. Dominating in the paint, as you can see, but Venezia have had their radars set from the outside. 5 on the shot clock. Driving inside and getting contact was Dominic Johnson. And he will go to the line. 10.3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Only 5 points so far for Dominic Johnson, and he fails to add to that with the first free throw. Averages 10.5 through the season. And he does get the second one to go. Johnson 1 of 2 from the stripe, 2 of 5 from the field. Shot clock turned off then at the end of the quarter. And what a quarter it's been for Umana Reyer Venezia. And foul straight away. Only takes half a second off the clock. Almost knocked away by Watt, recovered by Morgan. The high press trying to disrupt Olimpija. They get towards the perimeter though, and then another foul. This time on Bruno Cirella. Venezia did have that extra foul to give. So just 3 remaining. And Petrol Olimpija will inbound the ball. Can they find a rare moment of joy at the buzzer here in the third quarter? Hrovat in the lane, lost it on the dribble. Oh, and that was incredibly close from near full court from Cirella. Just about everything else has gone down from the outside. Why not that one? Umana Reyer Venezia leading at the end of 3 quarters by 15 points, 62 to 47.
We go with Andrea, DJ, Bruno, Pero, and Paul. Okay, keep going to play with intensity. When they play that zone, if we call 2, they go under, set the screen lower. They go under, set the screen lower, and then we roll.
Gremo napadu, glava za njega, ajde. Glava za njega. Dobar blok naredi Igor. Fintiraj, pa dobar blok naredi da se tlele otkriva. Bistvo moraš bolj od zgori postaviti blok.
Well, what an impressive performance it's been from the outside for the Italian champions so far here this evening. 11 of 19 from three-point range, shooting 58% from long range. 6 different players on the mark from the outside. Marquez Haynes, the pick of the bunch, 4 of 5 from three-point range that time. The assist, one of his 3, finding Michael Watt. Mitchell Watt, I beg your pardon. Here we go, start of the fourth quarter. Venezia 62, Olimpija 47. Cirella came so close from near full court right at the end of the third. Lead has been as many as 18, now stands at 50. Quick spin by Tratnik, blocked off though by Peric. Di Nicolau across to the far side to Johnson. Johnson into Peric, who's fouled from behind by Tratnik. And it's an unguarded outside shot that falls for Di Nicolau. That's his first from the outside. It ties the largest lead of the game at 18. Hrovat steps back, creates some room, and drains the 3. Gregor Hrovat with his first score of the second half after 15 first half points. He's 2 of 2 from downtown. En route to his 18. The rest of his teammates, though, are just 2 of 12. Dominic Johnson. Johnson towards the baseline, trapped in the corner, tries to find a pass out. Hrovat comes up with a steal, keeps it in play on the sideline as well, and then comes all the way down the floor for the big flush. Gregor Hrovat up to 20 points. And Petrol Olimpija showing they're not done and dusted just yet. Timeout call by Umana Reyer Venezia. Still A big lead for them, but it has been cut.
Usarlo così e te rolli. Hai capito? Oh, ciao, they play one more time. We go zone up. Zone up. So this, we keep going till the pick and roll situation. Okay? Zone up. And be ready in defense. Don't be lazy on passes.
Postavi zonu i onda samo nastavi. Prvi pas ili dodavanje ili dribling i kreću svoga. Ajmo.
Gregor Hrovat having another big game against Venezia. He had 17 points back on game day 5. He's got 20 here this evening, more than double his season average, 7 of 9 from the field. 3 steals as well, including the one that led to that big dunk, which has closed the gap to 13. Bounce pass off the foot of Begic. Di Nicolau back to Peric. Peric finding Johnson. Johnson off the mark from the outside. Offensive rebound, though, from Biliga, who's back in the game, having sat out for a while on foul trouble. Hrovat. This time the entry pass to Begic, who got fouled by Di Nicolau.
Secondo fallo per Andrea Di Nicolau. Cambio Umana Reyer. Secondo Cerella. Michael Ramos.
Out goes Bruno Cirella. Venezia's first foul of the 4th. Second on Di Nicolau. Outside shot, static, wouldn't go. Rebound reeled in by Dominic Johnson. Johnson back out. Peric will line up a 3 as well now off the front rim. Jan Span. Begic. Bubnic looking to hand it off. Does so to Bajim. Bajim takes the 3-point shot. Misses. Offensive rebound for Hrovat, though. A fresh 14 seconds on the shot clock. Jan Span and a foul away from the ball handler. The second in quick succession on Venezia and on Andrea Di Nicolau. The main culprit from the outside for Petrol Olimpija has been Bubnic, who missed that last attempt, or Bajim rather, who missed that last attempt. Just 1 of 6 from downtown now. They were able to grab the offensive rebound that time, though, and get this second chance opportunity. Hrovat slips as he travels through the paint, picked up by Begic. Shot clock down to the final few seconds. Hrovat, bounce pass inside to Begic, who can't get it to fall. They'll try and come up with another offensive rebound. First to it, though, is Biliga. The lead remains at 13. Di Nicolau looking for Peric, who moves away from the perimeter. Dominic Johnson gets contact. Second foul on Olimpija. This one on Jan Span. And Span, the first player in the game to pick up his 4th foul. One more and he's out. Bramos into Biliga, onto Tonant. Michael Bramos moving it on to Tonant again. Tonant trying to create room from mid-range. Picked off here, another Olimpija steal. Here goes Hrovat. There's the trail as well for the easy finish from Darjan Bubnic. And the gap has been cut from 18 down to 11. 6 minutes and around 6.5 to play. Dominic Johnson getting into mid-range and getting contact. Venezia experiencing a bit of a dry patch at the moment. It was raining threes in the third quarter, not yet here in the fourth. Fourth foul on Bubnic as well, so 2 for Petrol Olimpija, up to 4 fouls. It's their third team foul of the fourth quarter, 3.5 minutes in. Dominic Johnson making easy work of the first foul shot. He was only 1 of 2 on his previous trip to the line. 7 points, 4 rebounds here this evening. They have 1 more to that points tally. First Venezia score in a while, lead back to 13. Span. Krovat, leading scorer in the game, spots a gap, wants to burst into it. Lightning fast move to the basket. 22 points for Gregor Krovat. Very efficient 22 as well, 8 of 10 from the field. Looking for the immediate response was Stefano Tona. He'll have to earn them from the line as he's fouled by Krovat. That may well be the 4th foul, I think, on Gregor Krovat. So he's walking the disciplinary tightrope as well now. We'll have to confirm that for you. It's either 3 or 4. Venezia making their foul shots to keep Olimpija at bay. Six minutes to play, 13-point gap once more. Krovat back out to Bubnic, across to the near side to Taylor Battle. Battle back to Bubnic, looking back out to the perimeter, shot clock winding down, Krovat across, Battle's going to have to put it up. Does he get it away in time? He does, but it's off the mark. The offensive rebound flipped up and in by Bubnic. Olimpija ahead 11-7 in second chance points. They trail by 11 though in the game. Tona puts it on the floor, steps in to 2-point range, moves it across to the far side, and the 3 will drop for Marquez Haynes. He fires his 5th from the outside. He's been the main protagonist in this wonderful outside shooting display from Venezia this evening. Morgan looking to turn and getting fouled. 16 points now for Marquez Haynes. He's missed both of his shots inside, but he's 5 of 6 from 3-point range, and that rather sums up the performance for Venezia, who has a team of 13 of 23. From downtown, they've only hit 10 field goals from 2-point range. Morgan within touching distance of a double-double. 10 points, 9 rebounds, but it looks like it will be with no overall reward for his team. Olimpija trail by 13. Marquez Haynes taking his time here, working in the final 7 seconds of the shot clock now. Haynes, the crossovers, pulls up for another 3, and this time, having hit 5 of his previous 6, he doesn't even touch the rim. Good to see that he can smile about it. Petrol Olimpija still in this game, but it would take something special from this point. 4.5 minutes to play, down by 13. Trying to put the moves on the defense underneath the basket there was Darjan Bubnic, knocked out of bounds, still Olimpija ball. Venezia fans, players and coach not happy. And they always provide such a wonderful boost to their team. Shot clock to 4. Krovat twisting and turning, floating one too high off the window. Quick release down the floor here for Venezia. Toner passes up the chance to shoot the 3. Gets it back, looks to drive inside, disrupted across to the far side. Bramos for 3, another one. Raining threes in Venezia again. Bramos with his 5th from long range. In fact, 4 of 6 for Bramos now for 14 points. Lead back to 16. Only around 3.5 minutes to play. Krovat got fouled before the shot. Venezia at the foul limit though. Bramos and Haynes have combined for 30 of their 75 points. They also have a double-figure contribution from Mitchell Watt with 11. 9 as well from Di Nicolau. Tonut there has 8. He's made a good contribution off the bench. 7 assists as well to lead the way of all players in the game in that department. Three and a half minutes to play, 14-point gap. Jenkins. Rest across to Haynes. Here goes Jenkins again, across to the far side. Rest will shoot the 3 and hits it. And there was a foul as well. Thomas Rest with his first from the outside, the 15th of the game for Venezia. And he got caught on the wrist as well by Bubnic. A chance at a 4-point play for the 37-year-old. And just to rub salt in those wounds, Bubnic is fouled out. It is now 8 different players for Umana Reyer Venezia who've hit from the outside. The 4-point play completed by Thomas Ress, the latest of those 8. Badgem spinning into the lane, back out. Taylor Battle putting the ball on the floor. 18-point deficit once more, ties the largest lead of the game for Venezia. That one won't go down. Morgan another rebound, that's the double-double for him. And flipped up and in by Battle. Confirmation of that for Morgan, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Marquez Haynes. Toner getting inside, attacking in the lane over the top of Morgan, gets it to 4. Toner up to double figures. 10 points, 7 assists now for Stefano Toner, the 24-year-old, who only averages 5 points in 16 minutes this season. Morgan from the corner of the paint extends his tally. He's not had a great deal of help, he and Krovat. And Olimpija haven't had much else from anywhere else. Jenkins getting inside, back out. Haynes moves it on. Tonut puts the ball on the floor. Bounce pass towards the baseline. Beautiful ball movement. Jenkins wouldn't go down. And that would have put the exclamation mark on the 3-point shooting show. Tremendous team basketball from Venezia. Toner, full of energy in this one here today, but he steps on the sideline that time. Listen to this ovation for Marquez Haynes as he goes to the bench. A team-high 16 points, 5 of 7 from downtown. And what a response, having been held to just 5 points last week. in the narrow defeat at Strasbourg. Ress, who made a 4-point play a few moments ago, goes to the bench as well. The 8th different player for Venezia to hit a 3-pointer. They've only had 11 players take to the floor this evening. 8 of them have hit from the outside. As a team, they're 15 of 27. And that, without doubt, the story of the game. Toner hitting that second foul shot makes it a 17-point Venezia lead. 1.5 minutes, just less than remaining. Cutting down the lane to flip it up and in was Castrati. A minute and change remaining. Jenkins across to the far side, fed into the baseline, and a big dunk from Biliga. Some more Italian incision. The knockout blow to Petrol Olimpija. Radunovic hands it off to Battle. Battle over the top of Biliga, who denies it. Big plays at both ends of the floor for Paul Biliga. And then that one picked off by Taylor. Battle, who races almost coast to coast and misses the open layup, which sums it up for Petrol Olimpija. Virtually no difference between shot and game clock, so Umana Reyer Venezia will hold it for the remainder of this one. Fans on their feet in Venice. Chance for one more, perhaps. Wouldn't go this time from the outside. And the ball out of play with just a second remaining. Venezia vitality reverberating around this arena. Their playoff dreams still burning bright. Umana Reyer Venezia winning 84-67. And they do so with a 3-point shooting show of the very highest order. 15 of 28 from downtown. 8 different players striking from long range. But the pick of the bunch, Marquez Haynes, 5 of 7. From the outside for a game high 16, he led 4 players in double figures. 14 for Bramos, who is 4 of 6 from downtown. 11 apiece for Tonert and for Watt. Umana Reyer Venezia move to 7 and 5, and they tie level with the team's 2nd, 3rd and 4th at the start of play this evening in Group C. What an almighty battle it is. It looks like it's going to be 3 of 4 for the playoffs to be decided over the final 2 games of the regular season. They've continued their fantastic home form in this competition, Venezia, as they win it in the end here by 17. Now 15 wins, just 1 defeat on home floor, stretching back to the start of last season. Here's a look at the numbers. Assists, 21-11 really stands out there. They move the ball so well to create good looks on the outside in particular. 5 big blocks as well. Olimpija didn't have a single one. Good on defense and on offense this evening, the Italian champions. Haynes leading the way with 16, but Hrovat was the leading scorer in the game. 24 in defeat for Olimpija. A double-double for Morgan as well. Hrovat also coming up with 3 steals, but what 3 huge blocks. And there you go, 3 of the 4 players in double figures there for Venezia. Morgan 13 points, 10 rebounds for his double-double for Olimpija. Only 2 in double figures for them though. Hrovat and Morgan didn't have a great deal of help. It's been a pleasure having your company for this one in northern Italy. Let's have a look before we leave you at the Group C standings. Reyer Venezia still outside the top 4, but you can see they're level with Strasbourg, Bayreuth and Estudiantes with 2 games to play. All of those clubs at 7 and 5, an incredibly tight finish to Group C of the regular season. What a win for Umana Reyer Venezia, lighting it up from long range where they shot 53.5%. The fans filing out of this arena pretty quickly and going out into the streets of Venice to celebrate another home court win. Their team rarely let them down in this arena, and it was another fantastic performance here this evening. Umana Reyer Venezia back within touching distance of the playoff places as they win it by 17 over Petrol Olimpija, 84-67.